Hello and welcome to the Dark Den. Let's do some business. I haven't made a dedicated video about the progress of the Dark Den in quite a while, so in this video I will do just that, and we will also start work on future chameleon enclosure. But first, some overview. So you see, things are shaping slowly but surely, and we are definitely getting there. Honestly, I did slow down a bit, but in the next few weeks I plan to do like intense work to actually finish that enclosure, to finish place where plants will be. This whole section up there will be for plants. Make enclosure for hamster, the new hamster that we will eventually get. And maybe start working on the bearded dragon enclosure. This whole shelf will be one big epic bearded dragon enclosure. Exciting, right? Now, since last video, I don't really remember what I did, what changes I made, and what exactly I recorded, but I know that I recorded some time lapses of me working around stuff here, like these shelves down there. I think that wasn't included in the last update video, so let's jump into that segment. There, now you have seen a part of the work. I know that I didn't time-lapse everything that I did here, but let's go through all of that. As you see up there, I make tiny shelf for all the cans. I still have more to go, so I'll put more shelves on top. I added this tapestry that I received from a subscriber. It goes well, right? But I messed one thing up. You see, here is like a black border. After I installed it, I assumed that this part is actually a top part, and I oriented it wrong. But whatever, it looks nice anyway. Then I also added these posters from Macelati Spiders from Hungary. They were kind enough to give me a bunch of these posters, and I already gave some to the subscribers that visited the Dark Den, but I have still plenty left. Then I added this board that is made out of styrofoam, and on top of that styrofoam there is just a regular black cloth, and you see I added all the molds and some of the dried specimen like this ghost mantis, this Brachypelma opilosum mature male, and also this Pizzoteria metallica male that I actually did a taxidermy video about it, although a long time ago. We also have some plants here. You see, this is one plant that I will maybe use in some enclosure, I don't know. I also have this plant. This plant will actually be for this enclosure, the chameleon's enclosure. So that will go inside. I will maybe take a part of this plant and also put it inside. We will see about that. And what else changed? Oh yes, I installed light on this shelf, and one of my patrons asked me how exactly I do that, how exactly I set up the lights. So it's really simple. You see down here, those are just LED strips, and they are made for 20 volts current. And they are, just a second, I need a ladder for this. See, all of those stripes are connected to these two wires that are going here, here, here. And this here is a power source, like an adapter. It is connected to regular power and it converts that high regular power to appropriate power for these LED stripes. That's the most easiest way to explain it. But it is also easy to do that. Oh yes, and of course, I never showed it actually in the video, but I made this shelf. You see, 1, 2, 3, and also these two got light. This one don't, because there will be a leopard gecko enclosure here that will have own individual light, I hope. So that's why I didn't bother installing it. So other than that, nothing else to update you on. Let's do a few preparations of this tank. So first, I need to remove everything from here. And also I need to remove this styrofoam. I just temporarily added it here because that will actually be a background, but I first need to do some stuff to it. But I cut it to size and checked if everything fits nicely, and as you see, it is really good. So I will remove all of that. Then we have a silicone. This is a aquarium silicone. You see, fungicide free for aquariums. This is safe silicone for all the enclosures. And what I will do, I need to cover all of these connections with silicone, because there will be a lot of humidity inside, and I don't want that humidity to go inside of the wood, of the actual wood, because this black thing will protect the wood from the humidity, the wood that is inside. But since there are cuts here, if not protected, humidity will be able to enter these tiny gaps, and that would ruin the wood, so we need to prevent that. So as you have seen, I cleaned all the connections. That's really important because you don't want any dirt or any sort of dust or debris on the area where you are using silicone, because that will weaken the bond. Now I will apply the silicone. There is nothing really special to it. You just apply the silicone, the bead of silicone, and later you smear that with your finger. It's best with finger. And now you see, you use your finger to smooth it up like this. You see? Easy. Okay, that is done, but we are still not done with the silicone. Now, you see, I have this glass, and this is actually the front lid that will go like here. So we need to silicone that. So we need to apply silicone to the edges, these 3 edges, so that will sit tightly, but we also need something heavy that will push that. And I think that I have just the thing. This bucket with substrate will do the thing, do the trick. Actually, no, it won't do the trick. I will explain why. This water bottle. I actually needed to push the glass, but not to touch the bottom part. That bucket is straight, so it will touch the silicone down there. Silicone on the glass. There. No more silicone along the edges of the glass. So with silicone done, we have finished everything that I planned for today. I also need to do the same thing for these 3 shells, because you know the same type of enclosure will be there, and also the one for the hamster. So a lot of siliconing, and I think that you don't need to see all of that. You will see the finished product, but in next video, in next update video, we will start making a background out of this for the chameleon enclosure. And that will be fun, because I'm still not certain how I will do that. And I apologize if you can hear a bit of humming, because AC is on, so you can maybe hear that. But yeah, that will be interesting, because I have no idea. I mean, I have the idea how to make that background, but since this is like huge background, it is not really practical to do it classical way, like you know how I do backgrounds in my enclosures. Out of styrofoam, then carve it, apply the silicone on it, and then add the substrate. Instead, I will take expanding foam and I will apply it to entire background and just dump the substrate before it dries. That way we will have some sort of shape on the background, but I won't need to do a lot of work, because imagine carving this whole background and then applying silicone across the entire background and then applying substrate. It is just a waste of time and not practical. So that's how I will try to do it, but more on that in the next video. Now, I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, thumbs it up and comment something. If you want to support this channel even more, there's a Patreon page. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. I upload every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. See you again soon. Bye.